Namaskar. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Union Minister for Law and Justice, Shri Kiran Rijiju, Minister of State, Shri S.P. Singh Baghel, my distinguished colleagues, Shri Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Shri Justice Abdul Nazir, my brothers and sisters on the bench of the Supreme Court, Chief Justices of the High Courts, Judges of the High Courts, the Attorney General for India, Shri R. Venkatramani, Shri Tushar Mehta, Learned Solicitor General, the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, Shri Vikas Singh, Shri Manan Kumar Mishra, Chairman Bar Council of India, our most valued guests who are in physical attendance, and citizens of India who have joined us virtually. I have pleasure in welcoming in our midst the Honorable Prime Minister of India. We are gathered here to celebrate the adoption of the Constitution of India, the foundational document of the world's largest democracy. Lawyers and judges spend their time and years unraveling the text of the Constitution. But the story of the Indian Constitution is not a story only of legal text and legal interpretation. It is a story of human struggles and sacrifices. It is a story of undoing injustice against the marginalized sections of our society, the women, the disabled, the Dalits, and members belonging to tribes and segments situated in far-flung areas of the country. It must be remembered that the marginalized communities were the first to plant the seeds of the constitutional ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity on Indian soil. The first wave of resistance against the colonial power came from the indigenous communities of India. Our Constitution is a social contract entered into between those who were in power historically and those who were oppressed and sought to change the power hegemony and chose to govern themselves. Coincidentally, this year marks 75 years since our nation attained independence. India's liberation from colonial rule and the drafting of the Constitution were simultaneous projects. The prolonged struggle for independence culminated with the demise of the colonial reign and the birth of an independent nation governed by self-rule. However, the death of the colonial regime was not accompanied by a simultaneous birth of constitutional values that we hold on so dearly to. When India gained her independence, she was invested with social evils. As the first Prime Minister said on the eve of independence, the past clings on to us still in some measure, and we have to do much before we redeem the pledges we have so often taken. That has been the continuing constitutional project. As the Supreme Court said in its judgment in 2018 in Indian Young Lawyers Association, besides the struggle for independence from British rule, there was another struggle going on since centuries and which still continues. That struggle has been for social emancipation. The Constitution of India is the end product of both these struggles. The Constitution of India is to a large extent aspirational, for it seeks to deliver political freedoms and civil rights, attempting to shrug off the colonial baggage. It seeks to remedy the injustices that are suffered in a socially hierarchical society. When the Constitution was adopted, the social, political, and economic realities of our nation were in stark contrast to the aspirational ideals in the text of the Constitution. The Constitution entrusted the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary with the role of bridging this gap between constitutional ideals and social reality. I'm conscious that colonial and pre-colonial courts followed an approach of reluctance, disinclination, and inaction in protecting the rights of citizens. For instance, scholars and historians have documented the refusal of colonial courts to interfere in cases involving socio-religious custom, even if the rights of the marginalized were violated. With the birth of constitutional democracy, the culture of reluctance was replaced by a call for a dedicated judiciary to protect the rights of citizens. All judges across the courts in India, ranging from the district courts to the Supreme Court, must reflect upon the constitutional vision of securing justice, equality, and liberty. There is a need for us to introspect on our actions and decisions and to question our own prejudices and preconceptions. For until we open our minds to multiple views of persons with varied lived experiences, we would be lacking in our role as judges. An institution thrives with time only when it functions democratically. I believe that as the Chief Justice of India, it is my responsibility to collaborate and consult my sister and brother judges at the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice and the judges of the High Courts, members of the district judiciary, and the stakeholders of the institution. It is crucial that we tap on the experience of the diverse section of people who are part of the judiciary. Their knowledge and understanding would undeniably strengthen the institution. That is why it is all the more important that the representation of marginalized communities and women in the legal profession and the judiciary is enhanced. The Indian courts have been at the forefront, protecting the rights of the marginalized groups and upholding the rule of law. The jurisprudence that has emanated from our courts in India has influenced decisions in far-flung nations as diverse as Australia, Kenya, South Africa, Jamaica, Uganda, Fiji, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Malaysia, and Singapore, which share similar problems. In a nation as large, diverse, and graded as ours, the paramount challenge that the judiciary as an institution faces is to ensure that the justice delivery system is accessible to everyone. Challenges require dedicated actions. The Indian judiciary has been adopting several measures of institutional reforms with a single objective, and I borrow the celebrated phrase of American civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to describe it: to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice. We have been adopting technology to improve the working of courts. It is of supreme importance and necessity that the courts are remodeled to reach out to the people instead of the people reaching out to the courts in their quest for justice. To ensure that the courts reach out to the people, it is essential that the process of litigation is simplified and made citizen-centric. Though the judiciary's engagement with technology gained prevalence during the COVID-19 pandemic, we must not dismantle the infrastructure but build upon it. And I would earnestly request the Chief Justices of the High Courts to ensure that the technological infrastructure on which public funds have been spent is not dismantled but strengthened further. The Supreme Court now functions in a hybrid mode with both online and offline courts, which enable lawyers and parties in person to appear from different parts of the country. Though the Supreme Court is located on Tilak Marg, the Supreme Court is a Supreme Court for the entire nation. As the Chief Justice, I'm attempting to adopt technology-based services in the listing of cases and court hearings so that institutional flaws such as delays in listing and hearing can be removed from our vocabularies. The E-Committee of the Supreme Court of India uses technology to make the justice delivery system more accessible and citizen-centric. The National Judicial Data Grid is a repository of 77 lakh judgments of the High Courts that are available to every citizen free of cost. Additionally, various citizen-centric services are employed to reach out to the people at the grassroots level. While technology has ably aided us in ensuring functionality of the judiciary during the pandemic, technology must be augmented with institutional reforms to resolve the chief issues of access to justice. The first interface of the people with the judicial system is the district judiciary. It is thus of paramount importance that the district judiciary is strengthened and supported. The district judiciary must be lifted from the mindset of being a subordinated judiciary. Today, the Honorable Prime Minister of India is present here to launch the e-initiatives, namely the Virtual Justice Clocks, the Justice IS Mobile Application 2.0, Digital Courts, and S3 VAS websites of district courts. The Virtual Justice Clock is a platform where information available through the National Judicial Data Grid is made available to the public. Virtual Justice Clocks for the District Judiciary of India are a real-time informative public dashboard which provide information in 3 levels, covering all the states, districts, and court establishments in India. The dashboard provides real-time status which is refreshed and updated every 15 minutes. The Justice Mobile App 2.0 is developed for the judges of the district courts in the country. The app is provided to judicial officers to monitor pendency and disposal of his or her court at the handset 24/7. Digital Courts is a green initiative of the Indian judiciary in the form of a desktop app that has been developed to make courts paperless or digital. It provides an easy-to-view case files documents while sitting at home. Judges can view all the case-related pleadings, charge sheets, court orders of both civil and criminal cases which aim at making the court paperless. And finally, the initiative's S3 VAS website. The acronym S3 VAS stands for Secure, Scalable, and Sugamya Website as a Service. Through the Digital Court and S3 VAS initiatives, the websites of district courts are being upgraded from the existing system to a platform which is secure, scalable, and accessible. Content published on the website is accessible so that even persons with disabilities, including visual disabilities, would be able to access the information using assistive technologies. These initiatives reflect upon the commitment of the Indian judiciary towards providing access to justice to our own citizens. Our endeavor is to enhance access to justice. This must not be understood in narrow terms of enriching the experience of those who are already in possession of access, but by reaching out to those groups and communities that are denied basic rights. Access to justice must be defined in the expression of upholding the faith and perception that the general public holds in the legal system. I can assure everyone that the initiatives launched today are a part of a larger technological and institutional advancement of the Indian judiciary to ensure that even the most disadvantaged communities in the country do not stumble while reaching out to justice. Before I conclude, I would like to emphasize on the relevance and constitutional values, not just to the judicial branch, but to all institutions and sections of the society. The evolution of a society can only ensue on the foundations of liberty, equality, and fraternity, the trinity of values highlighted by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in his last address to the Constituent Assembly. Therefore, I appeal to the young minds to reflect on the social realities of India and work towards achieving fraternity by dedicating themselves to the cause of justice in whatever way possible. Sometimes change happens by small acts of kindness. The heart and the soul of law, as it is administered in our courts, is our sense of compassion to our citizens. With that, I thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to launch the e-initiatives of the Supreme Court of India as described by the Honorable Chief Justice of India.
E-Courts is a mission mode project of the Government of India and implemented by E-Committee, Supreme Court of India. The following new initiatives under eCourts project have been conceived. Virtual Justice Clock, Justice Mobile App 2.0, Digital Court, S3WAS websites. Virtual Justice Clock. It is a real-time public dashboard which provides information of institution, disposal, case clearance rate, age-wise pendency, and listed cases at 3 levels, that is, national, state, and district. Now, citizens can access information from anywhere on the websites of the district court without physically visiting court premises. It is a step forward to fulfill the aim of transparency and accountability in judicial domain. Justice Mobile App 2.0. The app is provided to judicial officers to monitor pendency and disposal at fingertips. It is a tool available to judicial officers for effective court and case management. Now, the access to this app has been extended to the Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, High Courts, and Principal District Judge of District Judiciary. It generates alerts and provides statistical information of pendency and disposal. Justice Mobile App will facilitate policy making for speedy dispensation of justice and easy access to justice. Digital Court. A green initiative where court records will be available to the judge in digitized form. Being integrated with e-filing and ICJS, the case papers e-filed by the litigants, so also the charge sheets, FIR sent by police machinery on ICJS platform will be available to the court 24/7. Digital Court provides multiple annotation options for judges to digitally read and add comments on case files through various digital tools. Customized reports can be generated through combination of various search criteria. Unique feature of working in offline mode is also made available. Digital court environment is cost-effective, safe and secure mechanism which will enhance the efficiency and ease of doing business in judicial domain. S3WAS. Secure, scalable and Sugamya website as service. S3WAS is a framework that empowers the district administration to generate, configure, deploy and manage websites for publishing specific information and services related to district judiciary. The websites comply with the mandatory guidelines of digital accessibility. 15 district court websites are ready to migrate to S3WAS framework, and all district court websites will soon be migrated on S3WAS platform. Let's join hands to build a futuristic judiciary to serve all.
On this special occasion, may I request the Honorable Chief Justice of India to present a memento to you, the Honorable Prime Minister of India. May I now request the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to deliver the inaugural address.
भारत के मुख्य न्यायाधीश जस्टिस श्री डी.वाई. चंद्रचूड़ जी, केंद्रीय कानून मंत्री श्री किरण जी, जस्टिस श्री संजय किशन कौल जी, जस्टिस श्री एस. अब्दुल नजीर जी, कानून राज्य मंत्री श्री एस.पी. सिंह बघेल जी, अटॉर्नी जनरल आर. वेंकटरमणी जी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट श्री विकास सिंह जी, सभी उपस्थित न्यायाधीशगण, सम्मानित अतिथिगण, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्कार। आप सभी को और सभी देशवासियों को संविधान दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। 1949 में ये आज का ही दिन था जब स्वतंत्र भारत ने अपने लिए एक नई भविष्य की नींव डाली थी। इस बार का संविधान दिवस इसलिए भी विशेष है क्योंकि भारत ने अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष पूरे किए हैं। हम सभी अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं। मैं आधुनिक भारत का सपना देखने वाले बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर समेत संविधान सभा के सभी सदस्यों को, सभी संविधान निर्माताओं को आदरपूर्वक नमन करता हूं। बीते 7 दशकों में संविधान की विकास और विस्तार यात्रा में लेजिस्लेचर, जुडिशरी और एग्जीक्यूटिव के अनगिनत लोगों का भी योगदान रहा है। मैं इस अवसर पर देश की ओर से उन सब के प्रति कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूं। साथियों, आज 26/11 मुंबई आतंकी हमले का दिन भी है। 14 वर्ष पहले जब भारत अपने संविधान और अपने नागरिकों के अधिकारों का पर्व मना रहा था, उसी दिन मानवता के दुश्मनों ने भारत पर सबसे बड़ा आतंकवादी हमला किया था। मुंबई आतंकी हमले में जिनकी मृत्यु हुई, मैं उन्हें अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। साथियों, आज की वैश्विक परिस्थितियों में पूरे विश्व की नजर भारत पर है। भारत के तेज विकास, भारत की तेजी से बढ़ती हुई अर्थव्यवस्था और भारत की मजबूत होती अंतर्राष्ट्रीय छवि के बीच दुनिया हमें बहुत उम्मीदों से देख रही है। एक ऐसा देश जिसके बारे में आशंका जताई जाती थी कि वो अपनी आजादी बरकरार नहीं रख पाएगा, जिसके बारे में कहा जाता था वो बिखर जाएगा, आज पूरे सामर्थ्य से अपनी सभी विविधताओं पर गर्व करते हुए यह देश आगे बढ़ रहा है। और इन सब के पीछे हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत हमारा संविधान है। हमारे संविधान के प्रेम्बल की शुरुआत में जो वी द पीपल लिखा है, ये सिर्फ 3 शब्द नहीं है। वी द पीपल एक आह्वान है, एक प्रतिज्ञा है, एक विश्वास है। संविधान में लिखी ये भावना उस भारत की मूल भावना है जो दुनिया में लोकतंत्र की जननी रहा है, मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी रहा है। यही भावना हमें वैशाली के गणराज्य में भी दिखती है, वेद की ऋचाओं में भी दिखती है। महाभारत में भी कहा गया है, लोकरंजनम एव अत्र राज्ञः धर्मः सनातनः सत्यस्य रक्षणं चैव व्यवहारस्य चार्जवम्, अर्थात लोक को यानी नागरिकों को सुखी रखना, सच्चाई के साथ खड़े होना और सरल व्यवहार, यही राज्य का व्यवहार होना चाहिए। आधुनिक संदर्भ में भारत के संविधान ने देश की इन सभी सांस्कृतिक और नैतिक भावनाओं को समाहित किया हुआ है। मुझे संतोष है कि आज देश मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी के रूप में अपने इन प्राचीन आदर्शों को और संविधान की भावना को लगातार मजबूत कर रहा है। प्रो पीपल पॉलिसीज की ताकत से आज देश और देश का गरीब, देश की माताएं बहनें, उनका सशक्तिकरण हो रहा है। सामान्य मानवीय के लिए आज कानूनों को सरल बनाया जा रहा है। टाइमली जस्टिस के लिए हमारी जुडिशरी भी लगातार कई सार्थक कदम उठा रही है। आज भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा शुरू किए गए ई इनिशिएटिव्स को लॉन्च करने का अवसर मुझे मिला है। मैं इस शुरुआत के लिए और ईज ऑफ जस्टिस के प्रयासों के लिए मैं आप सभी को बधाई देता हूं। इस बार 15 अगस्त को लाल किले से मैंने कर्तव्यों की बात पर बल दिया था। ये हमारे संविधान की ही भावना का प्रकटीकरण है। महात्मा गांधी कहते थे कि हमारे अधिकार हमारे वो कर्तव्य हैं जिन्हें हम सच्ची इंटीग्रिटी और डेडिकेशन के साथ पूरा करते हैं। आज अमृतकाल में जब हम आजादी के 75 वर्ष पूर्ण करके अगले 25 वर्षों की यात्रा शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो संविधान का ये मंत्र देश के लिए एक संकल्प बन रहा है। आजादी का यह अमृतकाल देश के लिए कर्तव्य काल है। चाहे व्यक्ति हो या संस्थाएं, हमारे दायित्व ही आज हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता है। अपने कर्तव्य पथ पर चलते हुए ही हम देश को विकास की नई ऊंचाई पर ले जा सकते हैं। आज भारत के सामने नित नए अवसर बन रहे हैं। भारत हर चुनौती को पार करते हुए आगे बढ़ रहा है। एक सप्ताह के बाद भारत को G20 की प्रेसिडेंसी भी मिलने वाली है। ये बहुत बड़ा अवसर है। हम सभी टीम इंडिया के रूप में विश्व में भारत की प्रतिष्ठा को बढ़ाएं, भारत का योगदान विश्व के सामने लेकर जाएं, ये भी हम सभी का सामूहिक दायित्व है। भारत की मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी के तौर पर जो पहचान है, हमें उसे और सशक्त करना है। साथियों, हमारे संविधान की एक और विशेषता है, जो आज के युवा भारत में और भी